Hello everyone, CD Racing here, and welcome back to episode 6 of our Dirt Rally 2 Rallycross career playthrough. In last episode, ended up facing 0 challenge from the AI out in South Africa, and our first time out there in the cross kart, we set a top 500 global time. So, high expectations going into this weekend for the Latvia Rallycross. Never raced here, super excited to see if it's a fail or a fantastic victory, but before we head out, I figured if we're pushing for top 500, the kart's got to be at its best, and so does the team. So let's go ahead and jump over and make some upgrades before we head out to the Rallycross weekend. So looking at the team, no need for co-driver upgrades because we do not have one when we do Rallycross, but Chief Engineer, 2 options to choose from, research knowledge and diagnostics knowledge. We're going to opt for the research knowledge here, reducing the requirements needed to reach research targets for engine upgrades, basically meaning we've got to drive less to go faster. Absolute win. And our regular engineer, who is by no means regular, plenty of options to choose from here, but we're going to go ahead and opt for the engine repairability because these cross karts wear their engine very quickly, and I'd like to even out all of the upgrades for the primary engineer. Everybody says a jack of all trades is a master of none, but honestly, I'd rather be a little bit prepared for any situation than put it all on black, hoping that I'm prepared for the one situation that might arise. So let's hope that that decision doesn't bite us later in the career when it really starts to get difficult. But looking over the rewards for the Rallycross, once again, $63,500 for an event reward, and we're aiming for that $225,000 reward for winning the championship. As always, car has acquired some battle scars over the course of the last race weekend, and $144 to replace our brakes and springs, respectively. Yet again, if you guys know where we can find a good set of off-road springs for $144, please let me know, because that is not going to happen where I'm from. But luckily in the virtual world, we've got the cash, we've got the desire. Let's see if we can win in Latvia. First time ever driving this circuit. Never driven this circuit, especially not in the cross kart. So let's see how bad it could possibly be.
Use the Joker lap to your advantage. You only need to take it once. If you miss it, you'll get a time penalty.
All right, so 2 races into the second season of our Rallycross career, and our engineer is still determined to let us know that we have to take the Joker. But all jokes aside, let's see how we do first time out here in Latvia. As always, the cross kart extremely quick in a straight line, flying through gears. I mean, that very short straight, we were almost into 6th gear. And early goings here, there's a lot of grip on this tarmac section, especially in these cross karts. I believe they're mostly on slicks. We can check it next time we're in the service area, but although these things go on dirt, they do the best on the tarmac. As you see, although a little bit of understeer there, you have so much grip on the tarmac, and then here, I am fighting the car the entire time. Look at this, swinging it wide, love tapping the wall. That is going to remain consistent throughout this entire weekend. This particular dirt section is brutal. It honestly feels more like sand than actual dirt. I don't know if that's just me for this specific course, but this one is brutal. Now, entering from the dirt back onto the asphalt is very tricky, especially in these karts. They feel extremely twitchy. And look, from the dirt to asphalt, you get all the grip back and you don't know what to do with it. A little bit of oversteer there because we had grip again. And finding that balance in the surface transitions is going to remain very difficult this entire weekend. Now, on to lap 2. Let's see if we can get a little bit more used to the track there, trying to find the flows, trying to find some sort of a racing line, just getting a sense for the track, while trying to still get used to the car, to be completely honest. These cross karts are very finicky, and getting the most out of them is very difficult. You see me trying to use all of the track early here. I'd like to find as advantageous of a lap as I could possibly find. And then through the dirt sector, all of the oversteer. You are fighting the car this entire section. I wish you could see my feet a little bit better. You can see them down at the bottom there, but throughout the course of this lap, you will see my feet constantly adjusting throttle, adjusting the wheel, just the entire time. This huge dirt section right here, you're fighting the car the entire time. Back on the asphalt, you have all the grip, and you see me wary of the oversteer. Many times I will try to correct that too often, and you'll see the front end just snap back, because when you go from none of the grip on the dirt to all of it on the asphalt, getting used to that transition really separates the quick drivers of Rallycross to the subpar drivers, and obviously we do not want to be subpar. So chugging on here, looking for a better lap here. Best lap currently is a 56.3. We're flying right now, trying to use all of the track. Let's see what we can do using all of the track on that long sweeping corner. Hard on the brakes into this section. Try not to lock up the tires. Swing it for a late apex into this dirt section so that we're straight entering this corner. Drift around the corner. Not really much you can do about it, to be completely honest. Love tap the wall on the outside as the lack of grip sees us understeer into it. hard on the brakes into this dirt hairpin and just drifting around this corner. Kind of became the fastest way that I found I could do it. Well, you'll see me get tighter to the wall as the weekend goes on, as again, little snap oversteer coming back onto the tarmac there and then onto the tarmac again, trying to fight it. You'll see that all weekend. I'm gonna let you guys know now. And the rest of this practice section was pretty uneventful. So we're gonna go ahead and cut to the first qualifier, really get down to business, as maybe I just wanted to cut the footage because I spin out a couple more times. But I'll see y'all on the starting line for the first qualifier. Let's see what happens. All right, so lining up in the fourth grid slot for the first race. Let's see how it goes. First time on this track with actual opponents against us. Let's see if we can get a good start and launch ourselves into a good weekend. All right. As the lights go up, so do the revs. Let's see how we can do. First time here, lights go on, waiting for them to go down. Can we get a good launch from the start here? Lights go green, a little bit of a delayed reaction from us, and it shows as we get past immediately, but we catch them going down the back straight, hard on the brakes, give them space on the inside to allow racing, and still get clipped. We're going to get close to this inside wall, give people as much space as we can on the left to hopefully power out. You see me check the left just to make sure I'm really good braking into this corner, and we're going to send it across the track, hoping that we don't get taken out, and keeping speed. Love tapping the wall on the right side there. Hopefully no major damage netted to the car. Hard time slowing down for this dirt section here, and this is going to be all weekend here, ladies and gentlemen. Oversteering in the dirt section into the wall, out wide. My lord, not the greatest opening lap, but it looks like the AI is not super close behind us. If you check in the mirrors, they're not exactly riding our tail, but they are still very much in contention should we make a mistake. And we're going to go for the tradition of taking the Joker lap 1. Always feel more comfortable to know where I'm at after lap 1 and see if I need to catch up. So we're going to send it over the jump, hard on the brakes on the tarmac, swing it around this corner, and then hang it back to the left to make sure that we can get a good line going over the finish line. I swing it out wide. You see me get passed by not one, but 2 people going into lap 2. And now, got to play a little bit of a game of catch-up here. We know they haven't jokered, but not much time lost in the joker for this lap. So keep it together, watch our line, don't do anything stupid, and we should be just fine. Gonna think about going for a pass with better speed there, but I hit the brakes, don't want to cause a collision. But we're gonna try and sweep it around the outside. He holds a better line. Maybe tried to switch back, but no, he's parked right in front of us. So now it's all about patience. Let him swing it out wide, see where we can find a gap. Think about going up the inside. He closes that door. Again, braking to avoid a collision because we don't want to crash early here. He gets squirrely for some unknown reason and into the braking zone right behind him. We're going to see if we can find an opportunity to power out early and get around him just like that. Much more confidence getting back on the gas and a decent transition back on a tarmac into dirt, over the jump, onto tarmac, keeping the grip on par. Now, truth be told, you'll hear me complain about that dirt section where we drift, but that particular section where the, dirt to tarmac to jump to back to tarmac, it's rough. Apparently so is the main straight, getting a little squirrely and going breaking into turn 1 there, but we are now having a decent gap to P1. They still have not jokered. So same mantra as usual, try to keep it on the track to the best of our abilities and catch this guy naturally. If we get past him before the joker, we know we are in a great position, so we're not going to try anything risky. Let him run his race as we run his. Look for the opportunity if it presents itself. We're going to stay close to him, swinging wide. We're going to gas early, shoot on the outside, and we say nothing risky and then pull one of the craziest moves I could possibly attempt. Overtaking it next to the wall, over the jump, scraping it a little bit on the landing, but the car comes away okay, and we are going to send it through the hard section here, over the dirt, break in the straight line, throw the car in onto the tarmac, and it looks like we have gotten the move done for P1. A little bit of hard time finding the right line at the end of the section there. That, unfortunately, won't change for a couple races. That last corner coming out of the joker area, it's not a very clear-cut section. Like this section right here, this is a racetrack. You see the curves, the corner makes a lot of sense, but that back section where you have the ball in front of you, for some reason, it's hard to visualize a racing line in sections like that. As you see me, again, understeering into this dirt section, we're going to swing it wide, correct the oversteer in the dirt. Make sure we love tap the brakes to get the front end turned in and make sure that we don't understeer into that outside wall. And for the first time this weekend, it looks like we found decent pace through this back dirt section, kind of trying to overpower the car early. Under the brakes for the difficult section. Transition into tarmac, always a sketchy one. Now back onto dirt, over the jump, keep the car in a straight line, brake back onto the tarmac section, and that is decent speed through the section. And now, finding a late apex to go back over the main straight, getting a decent line, but the power makes us overskew. Go ahead and hit him with a Ricky Bobby, just reverse it over the line. A little bit of quick thinking from us, but luckily not much at stake, as I believe we won that class quite easily. Yes, 10 second victory over the AI on a track that we have not once driven before. Sorry guys, like I said, you'll hear me rant about this until it gets difficult, but Dirt Rally will not let me turn the AI up until I win. So we're going to keep it rolling this weekend, trying to push for the leaderboards, because that is unfortunately going to be a very common theme this weekend. The AI just does not have it. I guess they just don't have the stones to send it like CD Racing, because we are out here making moves, trying to win. And let's go ahead and lock into qualifying too, see if we can get better at the track before we even start thinking about checking those leaderboards. But I will see y'all out there. All right, so lined up in the first position on the grid slot this time, all the way to the left. Honestly, not the position to be on the start of this particular race. We've got a left-hander going into turn one, which means everyone's going to try and turn in from our outside if we mess this launch up. So big stakes here on the green light as we wait for it. Lights go green, we slam it as hard as we can, try to get the car sped up. We only have one person actually on our outside. Hug the wall on the inside to give people space, and then swing it back around the track as we believe we have made it, and it looks like we have. Now we're going to power out into this first high-speed corner. Taking it in fourth definitely became the move throughout this weekend. We're going to power out, try to use all of the track. This thing tends to understeer quite a bit on power, so getting used to that is something to take into consideration. But back onto the long dirt section, just fight the oversteer the entire time. You see me not having a particularly good time of doing it, but finally get it straightened out onto the gas, over the jump, and then hard on the brakes into the dirt hairpin, down to the second gear. Quick blip of the throttle to get the rear end swung around and power out accordingly. Now, opting not to take the Joker lap one, we're going to go for something a little different here as we go over the tricky section here, over the jump, back onto the asphalt, try to catch the oversteer, and not the best attempt. You see me stopped for quite a couple seconds there. Had a hard time fixing the oversteer and did not power out of it, meaning the car's just going to slide to a stop, and now we have ground to make up. We are in a true second position here as the car in front of us has not jokered. Let's see if we can catch up naturally, or maybe cheese a better joker lap to catch back up. Let's see what unfolds. Back through the sweeping section into fourth gear, power early, hit for that late apex. All of the track being used, brake hard in a straight line, and then swing it out. Look for the late apex so you can get onto the dirt early. A little bit of gas causes us to oversteer, drifting before we drift onto the dirt section. Try to power out as early as can, getting used to it. Swing it around. Definitely the most speed we've kept through this section so far. Into sixth gear, over the jump, hard on the brakes. As soon as we land, quick flip of the throttle into second, drifted around, and nothing but dirt in our face as the car in front of us is just sending it. We're going to try and mirror his exact strategy to make sure that when we pass him, the job is done. Now, a little bit of contact before the jump there, into third gear, back into the tarmac. He's adjusting that little transition much better than I am. You see him gain so much space, but then out of this back corner, early on the gas, all of the track, you see me gain pretty quickly there into turn one on the brakes. He's actually holding decent time in front of me. Maybe the pressure's getting to me. Once again, oversteering behind this guy, and going into this turn, his line looked very whack. We're going to power out early, see if we can do something crazy into this turn. Hard on the brakes, not expecting him to close off the middle of the track there. Heavy contact to him. And now, genuine racing at this level. This is what I like to see right here. Can we get AI like this guy every time? K. Jensen, you are my new favorite driver for sure. Hard on the brakes in the turn again. Dirt hairpin, not our best friend in this particular race, as the brakes were not applying to us. We're going to cut it to the left and take our joker, deciding to stop mirroring him. We assumed that he would, truth be told, but now, going into the final lap here, we are going to have to make up quite a bit of time to make sure that we pass this guy out on our joker lap. Let's see what happens. You see him drive off in the distance there. Joker lap was about 2.8 seconds. Do we have that gap in front of us? 2.3, the current gap to first place. Are we going to maintain this separation and get the victory here? We will find out. Going one more time into the high-speed section, hard on the brakes in fourth, flick it in. Later apex so you can power early and touch the wall on the outside once again. Luckily, the damage doesn't look to be too severe as we again into the dirt section, try to find a tight line, drift the car, catch it, don't let it get too crazy so that we can straighten out and power out over this jump. Gonna be into sixth gear here, over the jump, soaring hard on the brakes into second, blip of the throttle to get the rear end turned around, and just like that we are following this man, and there is very little gap to him in front of us, and as he dives into the joker, we continue on the faster path, and it looks like we are going to come away with a victory in qualifying two after an early mistake leading to some genuine wheel-to-wheel racing. Maybe a little bit of excessive contact on my end, but come on, the guy was braking too early. Pick it up, man. Grow some stones for real. Send it in there. But all seriousness, got to stop those mistakes. The surface transition's a big place for us to improve, especially if we want to actually be challenging leaderboards. Race time 3:46 with 3:49 K Jensen. Very close pack that time. Let's see if that continues throughout the rest of the weekend going into qualifying 3. Of course, I will see you on the line. All right, so looking over the grid order, first place once again, not my favorite spot to be, not gonna lie. Again, a lot of pressure on the launch here as we see if we get absolutely sent going into turn 1. Hopefully not. Lights go up, as do the revs. Let's go ahead and hold them and get a good launch for qualifying 3. Lights go green. Very slow and poor start from us. The car bogged down. I did not have the revs high enough, and now we're going to play the patient game and let the race unfold in front of us. Don't want to make any stupid moves. Just kidding. Send it through the middle of 2 cars at once and instantly pay the price. Contact on the inside, completely unnecessary, risky move there, and as you can see, we have paid the price for it. So down into dead last, going into the end of lap 1. We are not even halfway through lap 1, and the cars are already gone like the wind. Literally nothing but a trail of dust in our way, and a dead car. C. Nielsen, some sort of accident during that lap caused him to lose a wheel, going to drive past him in the aftermath of that chaos there. Still seeing dust clouds in front of us, and one directly in front of us is 2 cars fighting on the side of the track there. Came up out of nowhere, holding contact with the guy in 3rd place, as we are now down 3 cars in lap 1. Many vehicles being involved in a collision. Perhaps there was damage picked up from the collision that I was involved in, caused a domino effect. We will find out eventually, but very, very fortunate in the eye of a mistake, as 3 cars taken out in front of us despite our mistake, and we are now into 4th place having jokered. So not as bad as it could be. Obviously, C. Nielsen will not be continuing this race. He has lost a tire, so technically still dead last coming into this lap, but we are going to go for a crazy dive bomb into this hairpin, catch the oversteer, or try to, but in our effort, we get past back on the inside, holding the inside line of the dirt. We're going to swing it wide, block this guy's face, and then just power out of it in a straight line, defending our position, getting a little squirrely, having trouble keeping the car on the road, and now hard on the brakes into the dirt hairpin. Blip the throttle. This is routine at this point. Did keep it in 3rd gear, dirt in the face from the car in front of us, and we are going to mirror him and not take our joker because we have already taken it. Over the jump here. Watch your transition into the tarmac, and once again, awful transition from us. Dirt to tarmac in the crosscart, proving to be a very difficult thing to do, but I'm no coward. We don't restart races around here. We deal with our consequences. So once again, in dead last, going into lap 3, let's see if we can make a 15-second difference up. I doubt it. I really do. But one more time, into the sweeping corner, down into 4th gear, look for the late apex, power out early, utilizing all of the track, and then hard on the brakes into this little hairpin transition. Keep it in 3rd gear this time, power out early. Watch your drift on this section, and again, lots of oversteer that I just did not feel connected with the car this race, and it'll appear that K. Jensen did not either. Maybe he's just ready for round 2. Let's see what happens. Think about a move to the outside, realize it's too risky. Try it one more time as he goes very narrow into the braking zone, and we're going to swing on the outside, power out early, and get the move done going into the transition for this joker section. And powering out early, that move looks like it is done-zo. Let's see if we can keep it on the track coming out of the dirt section there. Looks like we do. You see the arrow behind us. Jensen is right behind us. This guy's a competitor. If I see K. Jensen in my race from now on, I know that he is here to stand on business. And you can still see him right behind us in the rearview mirror as we attempt to catch 2nd place on the very last lap of this race. Catching that outside curb going into the turn, you'd think it unsettles the car, actually sets us up beautifully into this back section. Look for the late apex, and again, car in front of us. What are we going to do? Are we going to go for the risky move? Are we going to play the patience? He's just going to spin out in front of us, and this has been the most wacky rallycross race I think I've ever participated in. If there was an actual commentator for this race, he would most likely be losing his mind. Collisions all over the track, lost multiple cars, and now somehow the man turned around at the end of lap 1 is now going to finish in a true 2nd place because of the carnage that has unfolded over the course of this race. I can't wait for the faster cars and the harder components because this particular track seems like it produces some very interesting races. So, not exactly our greatest race at the end of that one. Finishing 2nd in our heat. We'll see how we did overall here in a second. Mr. Flores, of course, finishing almost, let's see, wow, the math is not mathing. Almost 6 seconds in front of us there. It's been a long day. I hope y'all don't think I'm stupid, but 2nd overall, 6 seconds behind 1st place in our heat. Where do we finish according to everywhere else? 7th place. Besides the DNF, that might be our lowest finish of the season. Of course, the replay just highlighting our troubles. Now, going into qualifying 4, the goal originally was to push for leaderboard laps this weekend, and it would appear that our main focus needs to be keeping the car on the damn track. So, let's see if we can hold ourselves to that going into qualifying 4. So, big game time race here. Is CD Racing washed, or will we finally conquer Latvia and get a good race? Let's find out as we wait one more time in qualifying for the lights to come up.
Ready.
As the lights come up, so do the revs. Y'all know how it goes at this point. Hold the revs a little bit higher than it was at qualifying 3. Lights go green, launch the car. Still a pretty slow reaction time from us, all things considered. We have pressure on our right side. We know we're clear on our left. Send it to the inside, shoot back across the track. And I am feeling angry after this last race. Qualifying 3 was an absolute disgrace. And in that pit, I told myself, it's time to lock in, bro. So this particular qualifier, we are going to max push this little cross kart and see if we can finally not only get a decent lap time in, but really start pressing the leaderboards, holding decent speed through the drift section. Try to straighten the car out as much as possible. Power over the jump into 6th gear. Hard on the brakes into the dirt hairpin all the way to 2nd. Lift the throttle to get the rear end turned around, and then power out as early as possible. And we are going for lap time, so we want a joker on the first lap so that we have the rest of the race to just push out consistent lap times. So over the hill and joker, hard on the landing, send it around the apex there, and the pace of this race so much better. Maybe in order to drive an angry car, you have to be angry when you drive it. Maybe that was the key all along, as this particular lap is already looking very aggressive, powering out early after clearing that wall. Hard on the gas into the braking zone of this long sweeping corner. Hang it a little wide through the corner, lots of speed lost there, but keeping it on the track. We need to get a decent lap just to set a benchmark so we know how hard we can really push this car. So we'll see what the lap time is at the end, as through the dirt section you see, and especially here, I'm constantly adjusting my throttle input. I'm trying to push the edge of the grip, or lack thereof, in the dirt section so that I can power out as early as possible. You see right here, as soon as I start to straighten out the wheel, just send it onto the gas hard and then braking into the tarmac. Catch the oversteer as early as possible so that I can power into the dirt jump, and once again back onto the tarmac. If the wheel is straight, the car will go where you want it to go. Who would have thought? Crossing the line here, a little bit of oversteer on the gas too early. Goes to show you just how much control you need to have over these cars. If you hit the gas before you have enough momentum and downforce, you're losing the rear end every time. So crossing the line there with a 52-53 coming at the end of lap 2. We're going to see if we can improve on that, as once again braking into the dirt section, aim for a later apex into the dirt section. We're going to go into 4th here, try to see if we can keep drifting to a minimum, but we don't, so we catch it early, straighten the car out, and just power over this dirt jump all the way to the top of 6th. As we go over that jump, I have to slam the brakes to get the car slowed down, and now power into the joker section once again. Hard on the brakes into the tarmac transition. Wow, say that 3 times fast. Over the jump once again, back onto the tarmac section, trying to keep the wheel in a straight line so we can go. And we're going to see if we can try and set better than our current lap record, as we go from a 52-53 to a 51.5. So about half a second gained over the course of that last lap. Big improvement. We're going to see if we can keep it going into lap 4. See if we can hit our braking point well. Oh, a little bit of oversteer, but we did meet our apex, but because of the oversteer and the correction, we swung out wide, tapped that wall already. Not the greatest lap from us, but time can be made quite a bit on these short tracks because we are still very green. So powering into this dirt section, you see me fighting the car the entire time, and it looks like this will not be the lap either. Already fighting the car. Just going to go ahead and try and finish this race and see if we can do better in the semifinals, because I believe with the victory in our heat here, it guarantees our qualifying for the semifinals. So glass half full, we do get another chance to do something much more impressive than a 51.5, because I don't think that's going to be very fast at all. Did we improve on this last lap? I do not think we did. And I will go ahead and check the footage to see if this was even leaderboard worthy, and if not, I will see y'all at the semifinals. All right, so quite the humbling leaderboard check later, and we have quite the work to do in the semifinal. Let's just say that. If our time has a comma in it, I'm not bragging about it, and we've got a comma at our time. I'll say it like that. So as the lights go up, as do the revs, let's get a good launch here and use the semifinal as a chance to redeem ourselves hard on the gas, hard launch down the straight. We know there's nobody clearing us, so we're going to go ahead and send it into turn 1, hard on the brakes in a second, power out early once we've cleared that wall, and we are looking hungry for a good time going into the semifinal. We're going to swing it around this turn right here. And look at this line that we are taking using all of the track here into second gear. Look for the late apex, but not too late, so that we are set up for the dirt section now. It's all about balance on the throttle, decent drift to maintain it, but we want to be able to power out early just like this, to use gas as much as we can down the back straight, making up time as much as we can. Swing it around this corner here, get very close to the corner. That might be the best we've taken that dirt hairpin this entire weekend, and unfortunately, it is on a lap that will not count. Joker laps do not count for the world record times, in case y'all do not know. So, swinging out of the Joker here now, we have 5 full racing laps to do better than a 51.5 and march our way up that leaderboard. So, going into turn 1, get close to the inside wall, so break in a straight line in a second, use the inside wall again as your reference point so you can power out early, go all the way to 6th gear, swing to the right hand side, hard on the brakes in a straight line, swing it around looking for a later apex, power on the gas as early as you can, and once again, get up to speed, hard on the brakes in a second, look for the late apex, back onto the dirt section now, balance on the throttle, manage your drift angle as much as you can so you can power out in a straight line, get as much speed as you can down this back straight, fighting the car into the wall once again, and my lord, if this were real life, I would have gone through quite a few set of wheels today, but this is not real life, and once again, hitting that dirt hairpin with much consistency and speed, netting us a decent result. We're going to power out early onto the tarmac section on the brakes, using all of the track now, trying to use the curb on the exit as we've grown more confident in that surface transition. And let's see what this lap looks like right out of the gate. That is a 51.3, so first lap of the semifinal, already up 2/10 from our personal best. We are obviously going to try and improve on that as the race continues. Once again into the high-speed corner, brake hard in fourth, swinging around right here. Don't use all of the track as we have this a couple times this weekend. One more time into the dirt section. Let's see if we get our line right, and we do not. Little love tap on the wall there, going to lose us some time. And it appears to unsettle the car as we keep a lot of angle through this dirt section. Powering out early into 6th gear now over the jump, and just about as soon as you land, hard on the brakes. We're going to try and recreate our great entry once again. Decent entry and exit on that dirt hairpin into the section where things can get a little sketchy. That was our sketchiest entrance of the Joker section by far, but it might also be our quickest, which is a great example of what rallycross driving truly is. When you are right on the limit between calm and insanity is when you can really get some good times. And once again, an improvement to our best lap, 51.2. Carrying too much speed into turn 1 there. We swing it wide on the exit, get a little bit of gravel on the tires, but I don't believe we lost too much time there. As going into this corner, flirting with using all of the track, and we almost hit the inside wall. You see that micro adjustment at speed to make sure that we do not hit that wall, of course. Now, as always, keep it patient on this particular dirt section and power out when you know you've made it. Again, probably the best one we've had this weekend, even managing to keep it out of the wall on the jump despite being full speed, slowing it down for the dirt hairpin, getting very narrow on the exit so that we can power out as early as possible, looking like a very solid lap from us. You see, I knew this was a good lap. I played it safe on the entrance to the Joker section. Going to utilize as much of the track as I can coming out, and we know this has potential to be a solid lap. Power out as early as possible. You see me fighting the oversteer to get the car, and 51.6. So despite the fact that that lap looked and felt faster, down 4/10 from our current fastest lap. So much improvement to be made here still. We have 2 laps left to improve. Are we going to do it using all of the track on this lap? You saw how close I got to the wall on the outside. A little bit of misjudgment on the braking zone going into this dirt transition section, but keeping decent speed over the course of the lap. We have gained confidence for sure. Powering out into this dirt section into 6th before the jump, and then braking hard as soon as we land into 2nd gear, facing a little bit of understeer, but we're going to power out early. This, once again, has potential to be quite the quick lap from us going into the Joker section, fight the oversteer and catch it and power out early. We are pushing this cross kart as hard as we can through this little section of the course right here. Going around the wall right here, we're getting a little bit more comfortable with what really is a blind section, and over the line, 51.4, so still 2/10 behind our current fastest lap. We must have really been flying on that 51.2, because although these laps felt pretty rapid, much improvement to be made. So on the final lap of the race here, are we going to find more pace? Looks like it so far. Again, looking very solid in the early stages of these laps here. We're going to lose some time in this dirt section as the car swings out wide twice. Ideally, you want to drift just the one time and then adjust your angle and straighten out as soon as possible, but not able to do that there. So lost time for sure in that dirt section, and under braking, just understeering, swinging it too wide. Most likely this will not be an improvement to our lap unless we hit an all-time joker section, and we do just the opposite. Again, the surface transitions on this track are brutal, especially in these rear-wheel drive cross karts, very unpredictable and starting to be an enemy over the course of the weekend. We know we didn't improve here, but we're going to hit a little victory spin out because we know we've won the semifinal. And a 51.2, still a pretty big improvement over our last lap. So we are going to, once again, check the leaderboards. Will we keep it in the video this time? Let's find out. Just kidding, I'm not going to make y'all wait. We are going to be checking the leaderboards because that lap felt somewhat decent. Keep in mind, this is our first time on this track in this car, and we are just over top 600 in the world. 701, our first time here, first time in the car. I will take it, but this also means we have one more opportunity to break into that top 500, our first time out here. Can we make up 200 or more positions in this race? All to play for here in the semifinal. For the first time this weekend, you're actually going to see us repair the car. Damage to the springs once again, and $144. I gotta know where my engineers are getting these car parts plugs because I need better ones. But all jokes aside, all serious now. Final of the race. You already know we're gonna win it. But are we gonna hit the lap record that we are looking for? Lights go up, as do the revs, and now we wait for the green to come on so that we can send it into the final. Lights go green, launch the car. Somewhat decent reaction from us, but we see people in pressure to our right-hand side. We're going to park it on the inside here, shoot it across the track, break in a straight line into second, and power out as soon as we have made that corner. Off to a great start into the final, and as long as we keep it on track, we will have open road in front of us to just push for that top 500 time, and let's see how it works out. Breaking into the first hairpin of the course with the transition into the dirt. We're going to try a different racing line here, apexing early, allowing the car to swing out wide, catching it, and then powering out. It's a lot easier to do, but it's not as fast. Just because we get decent speed over the jump doesn't mean that we lose so much time down that section. So experimenting when we know we're going to joker, because as you can see, we have a clear track in front of us. We're going to joker early and see if we can continue that trend. And we have 5 racing laps to set our personal best, but something special happened on this next one, and I'm just going to go ahead and let y'all listen to it.
Car behind has fallen away. They're struggling.
And as you can see from the time on the screen, a 50.9, still about a 3.5 improvement from our fastest lap of the weekend so far. You could tell we were really dialed in for that lap. And I knew after finishing that lap, there is more time in this car. Had a couple moments where I could have worked harder to save the car. There were definitely times, especially through this dirt section, where I know I can still get on the gas earlier. Let's try and go for it. And as you can see, pushing too hard, and I spin the car out. And I wish I could sit here and tell y'all that I eventually got my act together and put together one of the greatest laps of all time. But that did not happen. I ended up making quite a few mistakes trying to push as hard as I can to go for the fastest lap that I could. And I'm going to go ahead and narrate those mistakes so that you can maybe understand things to avoid when pushing for lap time, specifically in Rallycross. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, incident 1 in the joker section, going over the jump here, I adjust my wheel in the dirt section, causing me to oversteer, and then back on tarmac, the snap oversteer gets me almost immediately. And incident number 2 is going to come immediately after this, going into lap 5. Carry a lot of speed into this section, brake too late, and throw the car too hard, which leads to massive oversteer, causing us to lose the car. And incident number 3, watch us braking into this high-speed section. Try to brake, but I have a rear tire on the grass, and as soon as I apply pressure to those brakes, rear tire locks up and we swing the car around. Unfortunately, those high-speed sections just come so fast. Pause. Anyways, that distraction aside, really good to show you guys, even though most of the time in these videos I am dominating these tracks, if you get too confident and full of yourself in these cars, you will be punished accordingly. As these last couple laps, we're not good by any means. In fact, I don't think a single one of these even broke the 51-second barrier. So, goes to show you, just because you set a good lap does not mean you're Max Verstappen. Pay attention to the car at all times. Do not get into your head. And stupid things like what you're seeing on screen right now will happen. Obviously, a case of overdriving the car, which leads to a victory? Question mark. The amount of mistakes I made towards the end of that race there, victory should have never been in question. Like I said, Dirt Rally 2 AI won't let me turn it up. But I hope you guys are enjoying what you've been watching so far. Obviously, bittersweet as it is, we do come away with another victory. Victory number 2 in this championship. And I believe if we win this next weekend, we will already be in a position to mathematically win this championship, because this is only a 4-event series, and that is a top 500 time. First time in this track, in this car, 514th in the world. We did set our goal, and we accomplished that goal. Pretty crummy end of the weekend aside, we did hit our goal, hit an absolutely banging lap, top 500, and of course, $63,500 netted to the team. We love to see it. We really do. Now, looking over the championship, like I said, it is only a 4-race championship. I spoke incorrectly. We have already won 3 of the 4 races in this championship. And as you can see, already a 33-point gap to second place, which means, drumroll please, to add on to the weirdness of this weekend, we have won the championship. This is giving 2022, when Max won the championship at Suzuka after the race, and everyone was like, oh, by the way, you're world champion. So, champions in our 2nd season in Rallycross. What a weird season. Now, as always, I will give you all the option. Do you want me to finish it out at Yas Marina Circuit, Abu Dhabi? We've never raced there before. I'll let y'all decide if we do that race or move to the faster cars. But if you want to move to the faster cars, here are your options. First, Group B Rallycross cars, absolute madness, quite a bit of horsepower. Or we have the RX2s, which are basically your typical Rallycross supercars, just toned down. 300 horsepower, 2,400 pounds, very, very minimal compared to 600 horsepower, 2,700 pounds of the regular Rallycross supercars. The choice is y'all's. If y'all want to jump to the absolute monsters of the regular supercross cars, hopefully the difficulty curve of those vehicles plus the AI jump will make for an entertaining season next season. Or if you want to go into some of the slower categories like the Group B or the RX Lights, let me know. But now it is time to say thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, love you guys stopping by to watch the videos. And if you guys are enjoying this series, make sure to heel to that like and subscribe combo. I appreciate you guys so much for sticking around, especially while the AI is a little lackluster in terms of difficulty. But we made it through, we're getting through, and hopefully we can continue to prosper. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, I will catch y'all in the next one.